You know, what is it that you want at this moment in time? What is it? Instead of chasing goals, what if that you are that goal? What if it is about you looking more in depth to yourself? What if it's more about looking from the fifth dimension of going, I can do this? But some of you are getting hung up or feeling stuck in a certain situation where it's repeatedly moving around. Really about me picking someone up and moving them to a new location. And also to look at your environment. So how does your environment reflect what's going on for you right now? Sort of, you know, how are you feeling at this present time in your environment? Is it nourishing you? Is it giving you everything that you need right now? Feeling at the moment is, it's like, what do I do next? That's what I'm hearing, and this is what they're saying to me, that at the moment people are really reaching out. So again, it might be through the intention of connecting to your higher self, or connecting to your guides, or connecting to God or angels, whoever it is that you turn to. Some of you have gone through big shifts. It's like those big changes, big transformational shifts. You've reached a certain place, and now it's that feeling of, okay, so what next? I thought I'd understand myself even better. I want to understand my purpose, or why is it that I'm here? What's the mission now? What's the next stage? And they are hearing it. So what I'm doing is giving you confirmation that they are also receiving it, and they are here, and they're trying to connect you. When I say they're spirit guides, they're connected to source energy. They're receiving the same message, that at this time there has been a massive shift. So there's this pattern of behavior, like a wave, like the ocean, sort of feeling overwhelmed. Some of you sort of swept to one side. You pick up yourself up and go, right, phew, you know, I've done this, and then I'm still trying to get to that next stage. And they said, what if that by you being on that transformational shift, by traveling on that path, by traveling on that journey, that actually you have more of an understanding of yourself now? And what if actually as a soul that you were brought here to have more of an understanding of how you operate? You know, what is it that you want at this moment in time? What is it? Instead of chasing goals, what if that you are that goal? What if it is about you looking more in depth to yourself? What is it that maybe it's this time right now that your sole purpose is just to learn, like, what's going on around you? What's showing up for you right now? You know, when you thinking, they just gave me standing in a hall of mirrors. Like, you know, you get those mazes that you walk through and you're trying to find your way out, and there's just mirrors. And sometimes you go down one avenue and it's very clear you've got to cut through there. And there's another time where you think that you're going to walk that direction and you bump into this mirror because it's just a mirror of yourself, or a glass door where you just can't walk through. And they said this is what's happening a lot right now, that some of you are becoming stuck where you're interacting with some sort of repeating cycle. But they said that the mind is just getting in the way and stopping you from thinking you can actually move through that blockage, that barrier. It's not really a barrier. It's like how your 3D mind is seeing it. If you look closer, it's more about looking from the fifth dimension of going, I can do this. But some of you are getting hung up or feeling stuck in a certain situation where it's repeatedly moving around. Really about that inner reflection right now. There's a lot of inner reflection going on. They want to say that you have actually reached a certain place in your life. You have achieved that goal, but it's like some of you are so fearful of what's to come, or I can't see the future so clearly. And they said, how about trusting your sensory system? So your sensory system is what's going to be anchoring you. Your sensory system is about being in this particular space wherever you are at this moment. So that's they said about nature is a great one to use your sensory systems to ground yourself in that situation. So, you know, whether it's out in nature, the seesaw or the ocean, or the trees that you're feeling into, or the water around you, or what you might hear, bird song. The way I grounded myself this morning, I had breakfast outside and I could hear the birds, and I was just really planting myself in that actual area, not allowing my mind to run away with me, or to think of, oh, how my day is going to look. It was more about sitting, listening to the chitter chatter of the birds, really being present. So hearing, seeing, smelling. So it's about using your sensory system as the human being in that present self to really anchor yourself in, because a lot of you, your thought processes, thank you, are sort of where you're overthinking what's next. What do I do? Where do I go? What direction am I on? You know, what's the next job, or where do I move to? Sometimes you're thank you, you're using all that energy up in overthinking too far in the future. By being present, it's easier to be guided into the direction that you're heading into. That's what they're saying to me. Thank you. So I'm going to check in with you. Does that resonate with anyone here? Do you feel that, you know, where you are right now, it's like you got, yeah, some of you going, yes, okay. So is that feeling of maybe not knowing the next step? Does that come up for some of you, not knowing the next step? Yeah, some of you do. Yeah, it does. Okay. Understanding that you're not the only one, that direction, that it's changing. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And it changes at the level of where you're at. So your own personal development, your observation of where you're at. Thank you. I've just had a guide come in and sort of say to me, some of them don't realize where they're at on their journey. So what they're showing me is, like, when they say sitting with it, they're showing me sitting down in your space, and they're looking at, get them to look at okay, thank you, the fragments of what's going on in their life. So their relationships they have with individuals, what's the feedback from those relationships, where it's friends, families, colleagues, what's the feedback right now? And it could be clients as well. Clients can mirror back to you as well where you're at on your journey. Thank you. And then they said, thank you, they did this, they just sort of show me picking someone up and moving them to a new location, and also to look at your environment. So how does your environment reflect what's going on for you right now? Sort of, you know, how are you feeling at this present time in your environment? Is it nourishing you? Is it giving you everything that you need right now? That seems to be important, because there seems to be, you know, in front of this audience, it's just a sample of the audience out there, but there feels like there needs to be some movement, right? Relocation, that's what they said to me. And we have a guide here sort of saying to me to say it's not just toxicity from the food that we're eating, but it also may be words we're hearing. Okay, thank you. They're sort of saying, you know, if there's violence or breakouts of arguments around you, whether it's someone who lives next door to you, or someone down the road, or it's in your own environment, or you're aware of, you know, someone telling you about an argument, you're also breathing and feeling that inside your own cells. So that's, you're feeding it into yourself as well. So we, you know, us humans, we don't live in an ideal world at the moment. Of course we don't, we never do, but we're not meant to in that sense. We're meant to be developing and changing and going through growth. But it's like listening to what's being spoken to you, listen to the conversations happening around you. How is that affecting you? Be mindful of the energy of that around you. So very important to look at what's going on around you right now. Thank you. And then this guide, there's a couple of guides here, and they're having a conversation. It's like they're huddled together, and thank you. And something that's come up, they just sort of said, so whether this has come up from you guys that are listening into this right now or not, but they're saying about the empath. See, being an empath as a gift, because only by being the empath and feeling everything around you is the only way to move forward, they sort of said. Okay, thank you. Because in the busy world that you live in, it's so easy to be avoidant and to shut it down or not to tune into it. But being the empath that feels into the energy around you, is that making a change to your physical self. Okay, thank you. I've got one of the guides saying being the empath affected by others, it helps to move you along into a different direction. Coming up as a whole right now is there's this real awareness of self, and that can feel uncomfortable sitting with yourself at this moment too. So that awareness that you've changed, or the awareness of how you may not fit in with your environment, is information's coming up right now. And sort of clearing those old wounds, those old soul wounds that we might have had from previous lifetimes. It's sort of addressing them now in this lifetime. And it's really important at the moment as we move forward that how we see ourselves at this particular time as who we are in this reality. I just feel at this moment in time of looking at who we are, what's going on for us right now, and really being grounded and really aligned with who we are is going to be really important. It makes sense how it's pulling up old timelines, so old repeating cycles, old repeating patterns. So there's different versions of ourselves. So how we may have addressed a situation going back in a certain period of time, who we were, how we felt about ourselves. So then we're coming back to maybe the same environment, but we have changed. We get to see it from a different perspective, a different version of ourselves. So that's going to be happening quite a lot as well, where we're going to feel that we're having repeating patterns, but there may be a different version of ourselves and how we're interpreting that what's actually happening. Okay, Tina. Because there's also something here as well. It's like when people question, like as in, well, why do you believe? Why do you think there's such thing as spirit guides, or why do you think there's such thing as angels or the divine source or whatever it is or whatever? It makes us look at it and question it to a sense of how do I explain it. But then it makes it easier for us to reflect and looking back at what's happened to ourselves to bring us to where we're at on our journey. So as long as, you know, see this as a positive, maybe if we can see it like that, as it's helping us to navigate back to our home self, you know, that we understand ourselves better when we're trying to explain. There's always going to be people that don't want to hear it or don't want to listen to it. There's always going to be those individuals because of where they're on their journey. But what's to say that you haven't been brought to them at this particular time on their journey too? That it's just to drop the tiny little bit of information in and then to let them expand, because that's what all of you are doing. Every time that you know something, you know, you're then sharing it with others, and it's entirely up to them whether they listen to it or they say or they feel it or whatever it is. But you are part of their change, because otherwise you wouldn't be brought to them in the first place. So yeah, that's absolutely lovely. The version of who you are right now is you're stepping into that version of who you're becoming. So you're going through great changes. So it's never about us making us feel so terrified or uncomfortable that we can't say something. This is about you then, when you're ready, you will step into it and you will speak your truth. But it's got to be about the timing for you. So it's, thank you, someone just said, tell her to be easy on herself. So not to beat yourself up and self-sabotage. It's more about saying, when you're ready, it will be the time to speak up. And I know, you know, from listening to you in class and you've been, you know, contributing in class and this as well, that your voice is being heard. And it's a form of, thank you, they said it's a form of practice. It's a form of practice. We have to feel comfortable in our words being received and being heard also through our own ears, listening to our voice. And that's what they're saying with yourself. So it's important that you speak up when you feel you want to speak up, not to hold yourself back, in a safe place, they said. It's that interaction with others that's very important within our, you know, our environments, to step outside of ourselves, because new individuals around us are going to interact with us and come back to us and see us as we are. We need that reflection of others. So really important to have those living experiences right now, for sure. Yeah, thank you, Liddy. So there was something that I've been taken out of work in the last week or so, 2 weeks really, and that one of the biggest thing that they kept on bringing to me was that it's really about being in the present, because everything springs forward from the present. So your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, everything sort of trickles out from that. Everything manifests from that. So they said, how can people overthink the future, what they're worried about, what's to come, when they're not being in the present moment? Because your present energy of how you are feeling is the first and foremost of checking in with that, of how are you feeling, where are you at in yourself right now, because that's creating the future self. So what they were saying is it's really important to focus in what's going on for you now. You can read the past from where you're at right now, your understanding of your past, and your past can sometimes change depending on the version or the understanding that you have from the place that where you're at. So you've got to look at the fact that if your past can change, you're looking back at your experiences, when you look back at things that have happened to you, from the person that you're at in yourself, they can change because you might have more of an understanding of why that relationship happened, or what happened during childhood, or what happened where you lived in that part of the world, or whatever it is. Your understanding of something can change when you look back at it. You see it from the many different versions of yourself. So they are saying to me, so then why is it then they question their future, or they overthink what's to come in the future? Because when you are doing that, you are creating the thoughts from where you're at right now. And then that holds it stuck. So you're creating a vision of the life that you think that may happen from where you're at in yourself. But that's going to change, because that's only a probability. So if you keep coming back to here right now and working with that energy, it shifts internally within you. So your future shifts. So you're always going to be given probable timelines of how you move forward. But depending on where you're at right now will affect the timeline that you move into. So if you think that I'm useless, I can't do this, blah, 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 or this is going to turn out this way, what happens is you're creating that prediction as you move forward. So you're stepping into that timeline of I'm useless, I can't do this. Whereas the other timeline is I can achieve anything I want to achieve, or I can do it, but I'm open to where it's going to take me. You create another timeline. So where your mind is at any given time, when you are thinking about probabilities or what may happen or what you might want to happen, you are sort of like somebody who's fishing and putting the fishing line out into the ocean, and you're going to capture it, because that is why, and that is how, because you are almost thinking it into, like, willing it to happen. So they said this is really important right now to explain this, that be mindful of your mind thoughts of what you are putting out into the future, because your future self is formulating where you are right now. So it's more important to focus on how you are feeling today. And if you are not feeling happy, or you're feeling discontented, or whatever, you can't create from that space, because you only create more of it. There was part of me being unwell for 2 weeks that I felt so flat with energy. I had to take antibiotics, and I could feel the difference. Directly the antibiotics were in my body. It really was a lower energy shift. And I started thinking, and my guide stepped in and said, stop thinking, stop. And I was like, the more I resisted, it was like me, I was explaining to somebody today, the more I resisted, it felt like I was trying to float while waggling my legs and flipping my arms about, and I was trying to float on the ocean. Whereas when I just surrendered and I listened to my guides and they said, just surrender to it, let go, I felt then I was floating on the ocean, and it all sort of moved, and it was like everything's working out as it's meant to work out. But the more I resisted, it felt as if I was waggling my arms in the ocean. Not that it's physically an ocean, it's just a metaphor. That I was waggling in my arms and my legs and I couldn't keep afloat. And then they said to me, stop, just surrender, just be in this moment, just focus on breathing. And I was like, oh yeah. So it's like, it was an important lesson for myself. So when we have these lessons that come up, you know, whether it is through illness or family dramas or work or whatever's going on around us, it's just to bring us back the focus on what are we receiving, how are we feeling right now, and all we need to do is focus on us. How are we feeling? What's going on for us? What do I need? Literally, I needed oxygen. I needed to breathe. And I needed just to feed myself good food. And I needed to sit in the sun. And thank God it was the heat wave. You know, it was perfect weather conditions. I was listening to the birds. I was listening to the trees. I just tuned into nature. I was walking on the grass. I was just being present. The minute I became present, the minute I started to heal. Because I went down that avenue like, oh my God, my lungs are going to pack up again. Oh my God, what if I end up in hospital? Oh my God, oh my God. And I started panicking. And then I was just creating more of that. So the minute we surrender, the minute we just go, Just got to breathe into the moment and just be there however long it takes. It might take minutes, seconds, it might take weeks, it might take months. Some of you might feel it takes years, but the minute you can practice in being in the moment and just allowing for yourself to receive what you need to receive, it happens. Flick of a switch. It's very cool. The ego likes to feel safe. It wants to work upon, it needs to tune into the old experiences. It's familiar, it likes to keep you safe. That's what it's here for. So there is a reason for it. It's a reason for holding on to all the memories, all the experiences, all the database of keeping you safe. That's its job. And the minute you start learning new stuff, we're talking about spirituality, we're talking about manifestation, the universe, it's all new. It's all like, oh my gosh, I got to step into that. And that might be something we can't see. So the ego is going to pull up all the old history, the information, the database that it has that kept you safe, and it's going to come up, and it's going to, the minute you start wanting to change and letting go and go with the freedom of the soul and tuning into your higher self and your soul, the ego's like, oh my god, they don't need me anymore, and it's going to kick off. So it makes sense that when you are changing the version of yourself, the old version, you sort of, it's like grieving. It's that part of a grieving process. The ego starts to grieve, like, you don't need me anymore. I used to keep you safe. Why is it you don't need me? And it needs to have a purpose. So it makes perfectly good sense that what you are saying, that changes that are going on around you, that the logical mind is going, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, or trying to work through it. And that's the old information you have. But you've up-leveled. There's part of you, there's a version of yourself, you've up-leveled. You're transforming now, moving forward. But again, the ego thinks it's got to keep you safe. So it needs a job. So it could be that you turn around and say to you, thank you very much for keeping me safe. I love and adore you. Thank you so much. But you've now got to treat it as like it's that maybe a younger sister or brother or sibling that you need to reassure and go, it's okay. I'm going to step out and follow this way. But I still need you. But just don't need to hear your voice so much, and I just need to follow my heart rather than the ego in the brain that stored all the information. The ego is like slowly changing, and the ego doesn't want to change. It's like, well, this is familiar. Why would she want to change? I don't understand. We've lived life for however many years. She's always relied upon me. I've got all this life history with her, all this experience. So why would I want to change things up? Because we can't see what's in the future, and so that we can't see our future selves. But as I said, what they are saying to me to say to you that your future self is being created from the person that you are right now. So it's to focus on right now. And a great way of that alignment and, anchoring ourselves is by grounding ourselves, and grounding ourselves in an environment that suits you. So even if it's not in the country or the property or whatever it is, find the environment. So even if it means going for a walk in nature, tuning in, sensory, listening into the waves or the air around you or the nature, whatever, just that maintenance on your present self will already start to shift the future, what's to come. They can feel that shift with each of you. You're all on different stages. You're all moving through different stages of your development, and they absolutely love this. So ready, just begin that process of closing your eyes. So just bringing yourself to this particular moment in time, just allowing that conscious awareness of your environment, where you're at right now, and just knowing that you are going to take a moment in time just for yourself, letting go of the sounds around you. It's almost as if that the sounds move through you and away from you. We're just putting the sounds of your environment just to one side, just leaving there in a separate space from you. As you're there in this space, as you're breathing in and out naturally for yourself, allowing the energy now from the energy around you to begin to flow through you. Just feeling almost like your pores in your skin are open, and as you breathe in and breathe out, just allowing the energy around you just to flow through you. It's almost as if it was a colour, like the colour purple. Just allowing now, as you move in and out with your breath, as you're breathing in purple, you can just feel how that purple energy just begins to flow through your nose and just drops into your physical self. Just Just allow that sensation, that awareness of how that might feel, as you may feel that purpleness moving through your arms, coming down through your fingertips like a waterfall of light. And as you're there in that space, as you're breathing in and breathing out, as you breathe out, you can begin to feel that extension of yourself. Begin to feel as if you expand through your body, out through your fingertips, out through your arms. And as you breathe in, as you breathe out, maybe now feeling as if there's that gentle, cool blueness that begins to flow through your physical body as you're breathing in, breathing out, and through your physical body, moving with the energy around you. And as I'm there in this space with you, just imagine now like this ball of energy, this golden light around you. Imagine as it moves around you, it begins to shimmer and begins to gently wobble and flow. So that ball exterior is still beginning now to turn into this oval shape, this globule of light that just gently moves around your physical form. And this golden light of healing has been sent to you so that it's just going to help with any healing as it moves through your physical self. Maybe be awareness as you breathe in and breathe out, that as you allow this breath to take you on this journey, that feeling this energy, maybe a warm or tingling sensations as it gently comes in into the heart center. So as you're breathing in, as you're breathing out, this heartfelt center, receiving this golden globule of light as it just jumps into the heart center now. Maybe a gentle fluttery feeling as you can just feel it, almost as if you've swallowed or digested this golden globule of healing light. It begins to move through your physical form, just moves around now. Moving around into the stomach area, maybe feeling that slight sensation as it gently drops down further down through your digestive tract. Allow it to sit within the pelvis, globule of light as it's there now. And as you're breathing in, as you're breathing out, you can feel the energy as it moves around your physical self. And as they drop in this silver light energy around you now, silver light as it gently flows through the top of your head, coming in through the top of your head, and that expansion, like the tingling sensation, psychic abilities as it's enlightening them now, as it lifts and lights and brightens up the world around you, giving you a clearance of energy around you, this silver globule of light as it moves, is shimmering now, this mist around, just clearing, making space, really opening up your energy waves now as this energy flows and just feels as if there's this rainbow of colours around you, almost as if you stepped into a rainbow. Iridescent colours, the shimmering, this polarized effect, feeling it as it runs through your fingertips and down through your arms. Can feel as your body, as it breathes in and out, this expansion of yourself. Can really feel as it's almost as if you stepped into a waterfall of rainbow colours, and can just feel the sensation. And each colour has an emotional feeling, a sensation, maybe a giggliness of the younger youth that pours into your body. Sensation of green now, as gently as if it rises up through the soles of your feet, feeling like the grass, the energy of life that gently lifts up through the soles of your feet, feeling as if your feet want to move as they are feeling that sensation of growth, feeling as if that you're moving through life at a faster pace. Can feel that. And as the green energy begins to move up through the legs and into the pelvis center, you start to feel that alignment, almost like a pole of light that moves through your physical self. Can feel that sturdiness, just like a tree as it stands there strong and solid. Feeling as if you are connected to the whole universe around you. Almost like that tree as the branches stretch out into the fingertips. Feeling the energy of change and the cycles of life, experiencing it. And as you're there, feeling as if you've stretched out into the heavens, the galaxies, the stars around you, the many planets around you, just tapping into the energy of life in other worlds around you. Just knowing that where you are in this space right now, your duty, your job is to yourself. It is to tap into everything that fills you with life and being, and using all your sensory selves around you. That's smelling into your environment, hearing the nature, feeling and tasting and touching what's around you, and really being present, feeling everything that you are feeling, that expansion of self, and knowing that every word that you speak ripples out to others like a currency of energy, like a frequency of wave of energy as it stretches out, so that others are in receivership, that you are acknowledging their voices too as they acknowledge yours. And just like that magnet of energy of yourself, that those around you, that you're going to attract in those who are of like-mindedness, that those will resonate on that frequency of intelligence, that those will feel like home to you as you connect to them, that as you are communicating with them, that they understand and you resonate with them. As your frequency is now being tuned into the universe, that each and every one of you is connected, that your higher self, your higher version of your soul self has expanded beyond belief, that you are connected, that every frequency, every sound wave, every energy slipstream that moves, that you are aware. You're also aware that whenever you wished to close it down to have peace and quiet, that you can do this too. But now you are like that radio, that transmitter. You are receiving information that will help you, that guides you. And as you're in this space of asking for guides to guide you, your higher self, they come in with the energy stream of working with you. They are one with you. You're asking for those signs, and that you will receive those messages, and you shall receive what it is that you need to receive. And whether it is that you wish to explore more by the astral traveling fields, it is for you to be mindful of your energy stream, attracting like for like. And as you're in this space now with the energy moving around you, taking shapes and forms as the colours around you flow gently as they whiz around you, giggling childlike as they move around like a sparkling form of energy, that as they clear and shift any darkness that resides from any anxiety or stress, that as they shift the energy around you, they are cleaning and clearing, they're dusting away of any stagnant energy. And as you're breathing in and as you're breathing out, the colours are gently absorbing into your cells on a cellular basis. You begin to notice and the awareness of how your energy has shifted. So each time that you are pulled to a colour, whether in nature or not, take that as a message that your physical form of the energy is drawing you in to do the healing. And you bring the colours closer into your physical form so that you can touch, feel, sense, hear the resonance of the colours that are here to help to heal you as you're in that space. And as the colours now become more muted and neutral, becoming aware more of your space, that on the count of 3 I'll bring you back into this space. 1, begin to become more aware of your breath and your physical form. 2, begin to be aware of your bottom, your back, your arms, your legs, your neck, your head. 3, wiggle your fingers and toes and come back wherever you've been. Come. Open your eyes when you're ready. Did